Good afternoon, St. Louis, Missouri, Foxborough, Massachusetts, Detroit, Michigan, Hampton, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia, Cincinnati, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland, Seattle, Washington, Tampa Bay, Florida, Jackson, Mississippi, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Kansas City, Missouri, home of the NFL Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to lunch with the Missouri by Chamber Conference on a beautiful, cold January 20, 2024. My name is Alan Folks, your host, and creator along with Elder Allen Loud. How you doing, Rev?
Fine.
And how's the family doing?
Fine.
And that's always a good thing. And Brother Scott, how you doing?
Too blessed to be distressed.
Well, Scott, I gotta tell the whole world, okay, you're a bad dude, okay? This past Wednesday, okay, we had about it out at the house there, and we realized we can't every Wednesday at high noon. So Scott came out, and let me tell you, he rode his bike out here, and I think he was heading along that. You know, he was strapped down and was ready, to handle business. in the cold. So right now, were you out yesterday, Scott?
No, I didn't go out yesterday. I could have, but I didn't.
Okay, well, it was cold, another cold day yesterday, but right now we have some cold weather here in our area, but through it all, we are blessed, okay? And also, we have this Turkey Bowl, the series we joined us later on in the program, but we're broadcasting live on Ferguson, USA, HotTalkRadio.com from beautiful Woodson Terrace. That's in North St. Louis County, St. Louis City, and also on Missouri. Richard, thank you for sharing your Saturday with lunch, which is by Chamber Commerce team. We do this every Saturday. Thank you for joining us. And right now we have prayer with Elder Allen Loud, pastor of the Walnut Park Bible Chapel Church, located at 47 Leland Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 61. Did I get it right, Real?
47. Right.
Yeah, right. Okay. Prayer with Elder Allen Loud, pastor of the Walnut Park Bible Chapel Church, located at 5547 Avenue, 6120, and Peace and West in North St. Louis. Pastor of the church is Elder Allen Loud. It's located at 5547 Leland Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 6120 is the zip code. And right now, Rev, to us again for another beautiful prayer. Thank you, sir. In advance.
That's by our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for waking us up this morning. You didn't have to, but you did. And Heavenly Father, we thank that we're already seated in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. Our name is written in the Lamb Book of Life. And the Holy Spirit is going to take the gospel all over the universe, convict the spirit to be saved before it's ever too late. And Heavenly Father, we ask that you might have a wonderful fellowship with you today, this afternoon. In Jesus' most precious name, amen.
Okay, well, that was a beautiful prayer, and again, we pray for everybody in the whole wide world. That's a song you kids, the whole wide world is in his hands. Okay, so what do you got for this week, Rev?
Israel. We in the 45th chapter of Isaiah.
Oh, Isaiah 45. That's almost a heck of a chapter.
And
there's a lot of wisdom in that chapter.
Yep. And the title up above the topic is talking about Israel reminded they that safety and salvation are to be found only in Jehovah.
Okay.
We're going to start with verse 5. But before we start that, I want to read something that's every soldier of God should have this type of faith.
Okay.
This is an armor. This is the type of faith you need to fight against the wiles of the devil.
Okay, because he's out there, brothers.
Yes, sir. Number 1, it's 11 verses. Number 1, deny self. That's the first thing. In order to be working for Christ, you have to deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow Him.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, walk by faith, not by sight.
Not by sight. Come on, Reb.
Number 3, be led by the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, read the Word daily.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, preach the gospel in season and out of season. Number 6, show love one to another. Number 7, grow in grace and the knowledge of the truth. Number 8, work out your own salvation with fear and tremble. Number 9, study to show thyself approval unto God, a workman not need rightly dividing the word of truth. And number 10, trust and obey. And number 11, believe the death, burial, and resurrection. Those are the armor of God for a saint of God. And even if the unsaved believe this right here, and he ain't even saved yet, but if he believe this right here, it'll protect him too.
Well, Rev, the Bible, okay, it does not speak about anybody in color, okay, but what it tells us that we all one, and that we say we all are one. But like some of you guys learn in the service, okay, that you have to protect your neighbor, okay, that being really yourself, okay, be able to protect yourself so you can protect your neighbor.
Amen.
And so like not even if on an airplane, but the masks come down, they said, put on yourself first, okay, before you put on anybody else. And the Bible says also, look out, to do the same thing. I'm sorry, go ahead, Rev. Yes, sir.
Okay. Chapter 45 and verse 5. It said, I am the Lord, and there is none else. God can only say this. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. Verse 7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Now in verse 7, it's very powerful. It was no evil in the garden until Lucifer disobeyed God.
Okay.
That's why the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was in the garden in the midst, which is a type of the man the man that sinned. This is his type. He knows good and evil by rebelling against God. Verse 8, drop down, ye heavens. It's 12 heavens, y'all. Y'all might not believe it, but it's 12 heavens. And ye heavens from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness. Let the earth open, and let them bring forth salvation. Let righteousness spring up together. I, the Lord, have created it. Woe unto me that strive with his maker. Let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth. Should the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou, or thy work? He hath no hand. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a God with no hands. That's what the saints. That's why we walk by faith and not by sight. Because we're dealing with a God with no hands. He don't have to do nothing with hands. He just speaks and it happens.
Yeah, speaking to reality.
Woe unto him that said unto his father, what begettest thou? Or to the woman, what hast thou brought forth? Thus said the Lord, the Holy One of Israel and his Maker. Ask me of things to come concerning my sons, and concerning the work of my hands, command ye me. I have made the earth and created man upon it. I even my hands have stretched out the heavens, and all their hosts have I commanded. I have raised him up in righteousness, and I will direct all his ways. He should build my city, and he should let go my captives, not for price nor reward, said the Lord of hosts. Thus said the Lord, the labor of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabines, men of stature, should come over unto thee, and they should be thine. They should come after thee, and in change they should come over, and they should fall down unto thee. They should make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God. See, we know that this gonna happen. And it's talking to Israel, and it's also talking to the church. Everybody in the world that has been rebelling God and going against his people, this is gonna happen to them, whether they think so or not. Verily, 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 thou art a God that hidest thyself, O God of Israel, the Savior. They should be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They should go to confusion together that are makers of idols. But Israel should be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye should not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. But thus said the Lord that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth and made it. He had established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, seek ye me in vain. I, the Lord, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. Assemble yourselves and come draw near together, ye that are escaped of the nations. They have no knowledge that set up the wood of their graven image, and pray unto a God that cannot save. Tell ye and bring them near. Yea, let them take counsel together. Who had declared this from ancient time? Who had told it from that time? Have not I, the Lord? And there is no God else besides me, a just God and a Savior. There is none besides me. Look unto me, and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am God, and there is none else. I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth, and righteousness, and should not return unto me. Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Surely should one say, in the Lord have our righteousness and strength. Even to him should men come, and all that are incensed against him should be ashamed. In the Lord should all the seed of Israel be justified, and should glory. Amen. May the Lord have a blessing to the reader and hearer of his word.
Well, Rev, you said well, neither said a mouthful, but thank you for the reading of the scripture. And me fall on good ears, and I want to say first of all that what you did there, you set up, those 11 steps, okay, the things that we should all be cognizant of, that we should have faith in ourselves, and like I said, it's saying that if you believe in yourself and believe in him, that all things are possible, because I think it's in Matthew, it says that when there are 2 or 3 together, he's always in our midst, and that's something that, when you pray, and God, you're praying, okay, he said 2 or more, so it's always you and him, and you're praying for yourself, you're praying in him. Okay, so you ain't gonna get nobody else, hey, can you pray for me? But I think, what you did today was kind of lay down some, just some simple steps, Rev, and you brought back scripture, and I think now, what's going on in Israel right now, is something that's, we'll talk about later on in the program a little bit, okay, but God saved Israel so many times. So many times they have been a stiff-necked person, okay?
Amen. They hard-headed.
Hard-headed,
stiff-necked.
But anyway, we all had a little bit of illness, okay, but it can only go so far, But I just said, your lesson today, was something that you had, some steps there. And, first of all, I think it was 5 or 6 there. Which one was that? I forgot exactly what it was, okay? But what is all those are saying, believe, believe, believe. And you should read your Bible, every day. You can't do every day, read as much as you can. But pray every day. That you can do. You can pray anywhere you go.
Amen.
You can put over to the side of the road sometime while you sit in traffic and pray to God help me this day. You go into a meeting and ask him to give me clarity and understanding. As you're going someplace.
And you ain't got to pray all them long prayers like the Sadducees and the Pharisees want to be seen by people.
Right. So, he had a good prayer today. Brother so-and-so, man, did he bring it, brother? That is not necessary. Okay. He said, that is not necessary.
The main thing is let the Bible said, let your words be seasoned with salt and showing. So you can say a multitude of words, and by using it, because by the English language, they got a way that you can say and cover everything. By the word everything, you can use that in your prayer, and that'll be everything, You got they be doing all that, want to be heard. They ain't nothing but the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life want to be seen and heard. It's like you want to be seen but not heard.
Rev, that be discussed. That's a topic for another day. Okay. You listen to lunch with some Jews by General Conference on the 20th of January. My name is Al Folks. That's Rev. That's Scott and Scott. Chuck and John later on. Thank you for listening to me. I'm going to meet the team on thank you for taking the time with us. It's on Ferguson, USA, HotTarget.com. And no, Scott, take it out of here. Good afternoon. Again, this is your lunch with some little that you're trying to do for Saturday afternoon. It's kind of cold in most of the country, and we always talk about this. We have this cold spell, but it's not cold because this is the winter time, and we need ice and snow for us to have the bugs, the insects be killed away. Otherwise, the summer they will eat us up. And this is the first kind of good cold we had in quite a while, guys. So we thank you. We get now here in St. Louis, and there are a lot of germs that's out here. And one of those is that we continue to ask you to pray for the people who COVID-19. It hasn't gone into place, just because it's not being talked about. It's been, a matter of fact, there's a new variant that's out now. It's called XBB.1.5. It's the most dominant strain of COVID-19, and right now it's in the middle of the East, so it starts east and goes to the west. So right now in the Middle East, now this COVID-19 virus is here to stay. So get your vaccinations, and wash your hands, and wear a face mask, and practice social distancing when you can. And right now,
the Bible says that there's nothing new under the sun.
Oh, that's true, man.
It said everything that they do, it's something new that's coming out, but it ain't.
Well,
why do they continue to lie? They lying. Did they tell you to put your hand on the Bible and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? But they still lying. How can you follow a system that's crooked and wicked?
Well, Rev, right now, okay, that's a whole lot of truth in that. But right now, let me tell you right now, this new COVID strain that's out, this XBB 1.5. Matter of fact, it's really hard to detect, but there are certain symptoms you're going to get, okay? Like, your stiffness in the neck, okay, and your shoulders, and like that. But the thing that you can do to make sure is get your vaccinations, because that's the one thing that's going to keep numbers down. And just cause we have to answer your question a little bit there, just cause the news and TV stations are not talking about this in the news, okay, because it's not a hot topic right now. But right now, the deaths are creeping up again, okay? They're kind of high. They've been in a little while here, and people are going to the hospital. So this is something to be taken very serious. What I'm saying to you today, okay? All I'm saying to you today, this is probably the most serious part of our program. XBB.1.5 is the most dominant strain of COVID-19 right now. And right now it's in the middle of the East. And so that means that we need to, and that's part of it on the eastern, on the seaboard there, so right now we need to make sure that we make sure you're vaccinated, and and it's not hard to do. The vaccination is normally free for you, and get those things. And like I said, wear a face mask. When I go places, I wear my face mask. Now, it's a habit of me now. I went in the store the other day.
Something Aaron?
Yes, sir.
Some places don't want you to have your hood on. They don't want you to have no mask on and everything. Some of these businesses that you go to, they ain't talking about that either.
Well, right now, there's so many robberies and stuff. We're talking about that on the program, but right now, you have a legitimate face mask on, a face mask, okay? And right now, most places are getting away for free. So, we gave away over 10,000 of those things. We're still getting them away. People need them, okay? But please wear that face mask and just wash your hands. What you touch, where your hands go, okay? Wash your hands, and also, if you can, get that hand sanitizer, clean your hands off, and also, they don't talk about that's also very good. And also practice social distancing. That's one thing that's very, very important. And also something that's very important to the whole country right now. This past week, President Biden signed a bill that will keep the country operating again, so it will not be a shutdown. And that is a very good thing. They call it continuing resolution. But that means they fund certain departments, make sure they get the money for those. And what that does is, gradually, all those 12 bills that needed to be passed at one time before this came up had to be, authorized from the House and the Senate. And right now, the Senate has been taking care of their business, but in the House of Representatives, okay, one of the main problems has been that the House of Representatives had a new speaker, Mr. Johnson, and he's getting his feet solid in ground here. But one of the good things, keep this in mind, we will not have the speaker is safe right now because he cannot be voted out unless he has a majority of the House of Representatives to vote him out. And right now, there's probably 1 or 2 votes different in the House right now within the Democrat and the Republican. So right now, as long as he can get on with King Jeffries, and they can give him a few votes to make sure he's secure, as long as he's doing the right thing, passing bills like this, he should be okay. So right now, it will not be a shutdown. So government will operate as usual, and we thank God for that. That's a very, very good thing. And also, another thing here in the place, yes, sir, somebody said something, Scott Reb.
I was saying the trust, this is a solution for everybody in the universe. Trust God, suck on your Hall's cough drop, do that, wash your hands, because that's the only way that you can be able to protect yourself from these diseases out here. And
okay, right now, we don't move on from that, okay? We talking about that again right now, okay? We ain't there, but right now, we talking about the government right now, as far as things like that have been going on. And one of the things, Reb, that you briefly spoke about here, in the book of Isaiah, and talking about what he used, I think the 25th chapter about he used to have a stiff neck. But right now, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Middle East right now. And also, this war with Hamas, in Gaza. Well, in Gaza, they have nothing but young people there. And this war right now, this is my personal opinion, okay? This is my personal opinion, our whole personal opinion. That I think right now the bombing and this destruction needs to cease because there's everyone that needs to be killed have been killed. They need to be disturbed and destroyed. And right now, we already know that similar to our country, Netanyahu right now, who's the prime minister, he's trying to stay out of jail. Right now, he has paid Hamas for the last several years millions of dollars, okay, for them to stay in existence. But they could have been gone. Then the battle plan that they used to invade back in October, they had a plot for that a year in advance. Nobody did anything about this, okay? So there's going to be an investigation that's going to come to head. And while this has been going on, there was a lot of uproar in Israel because Netanyahu was trying to change the court system that he as the prime minister, been over the courts. Then when he could get out of jail, and guess what? The courts have voted not to accept that. So right now, once these wars are over with right now, you do an investigation, he's going to jail. We got a similar thing here in our own country. Somebody trying to stay out of jail. That's not democratic. That's not democracy. That's all about one person. And that's not how our system is supposed to take place. Our president has been pressuring Israel to reduce the Palestinian deaths. And right now, all these new nations that's popping up here, well, these fights that we're fighting in now is because right now people support what's going on in Gaza, and we're going to have a two-state government, where they can live and be safely next to Israel there. And that's how Hamas came in there, and they're gone now. And now they're fighting with some other people now. So we got to always keep an eye on the prize. You always heard about that, keep an eye on the prize. And so right now, we want peace for everyone. We want safety for everyone. And I think right now with the Houthis, it seems like it's okay, that we now got, they're being supported by Iran. So they're giving the messages, the money, and the train and the supplies for them to keep going. And yesterday, this past Wednesday, I think it was, our Secretary of State Blinken spoke at a conference over the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, and Secretary of State Blinken said the two states with the best way to protect Israel, United moderate Arab nations, and isolate Israel's arch enemy, Iran. And so this is not just about Gaza. This is about the war going on with Iran. They're the ones supplying the money. You follow the money, okay? In case of our country, the money comes from us. In the case of Iran, they're the ones over there right now, are fighting among themselves. And all the fighting going on recently been all about oil, about supplies coming to us in the ocean, through the seas to get to us. So this is what it's all about now. So we hope to pray to God that everyone come together here. We can pray for peace, but make sure you're praying for the peace that's going to be mentioned to everybody here. And that's what we're praying right now. That I'm so happy that the president, that now who knows that things got to change, and we got to work toward a solution of peace. Peace. The Bible said, "Peace I give, and peace you should receive." And also in politics, this past Tuesday, in our, we heard all about it all on TV. That was cold there than most places, but they had their caucus that took place, and in the caucus there, President Donald Trump won by wide margin. And people are wearing a caucus, okay? It's not about a vote, okay? You have a group of people in the room, and they all section off. And they debate with each other, and at the end of the day, they put all their votes into a bucket. Then whoever comes out at the most. Well, right now, that is over behind Trump. President Trump won that. I think DeSantis came in second place, and now this coming Tuesday, okay, next week, okay, they'll be in New Hampshire. Now, this will be a primary election here where you go to the polls and you will vote, and you normally do. And this being a caucus in a regular primary. So right now in New Hampshire, we're going to see how that goes on. And at the end of the day, we can also see that right now the Democrats, see, our country has been built so far for many, many years on a two-party system. Well, right now, we don't understand anything. They normally have platforms. Usually they're going to deal with what they're going to do to protect our people. That's why they go to Congress there, to work up there, to get out, so they make sure we get water, clean water. There's a whole lot of things that they need to get done for the people. And right now, those things, as far as the Republican Party, we don't have a platform. And right now, it's all about one man. And and I'm saying this is my personal opinion again. And right now, as the election going to turn out, that this primaries, and at the end of the day, we're going to be President Joe Biden will be running against the Republican Party, which is now one man. But the Democratic Party still is in existence. And that's why even in Congress now, things are moving forward. When you have a two-party system, it's not the system that's devoted for a two-party system. And another thing that's been changing our judicial system, and anybody right now that speak out against anything that's going on, people don't like, they have a thing called squatting. Scott, are you familiar with squatting?
That's people who are staying in a house or an abode that they do not have any right to.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I should say swatting. I said the wrong one. Swatting. SWATTING, swatting.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, on swatting, okay, somebody will call the police department and said that, hypothetically speaking, that somebody at Scott's house or Red House, my house, that we got somebody in our hostage there, and that somebody need to come out right away. And it's a false alarm, okay? But what happens, okay, they wake you in the middle of the night, okay? And that's been going on a lot of people, okay, in this, it's gotten so bad that people in the court system, they go to jury trials now, as far as all these trials that Trump has going on, people trying to be, not having names, told because they don't want nobody come to their house, their family members being threatened. And so right now, the Congress right now is trying to pass a law that if anybody that does that, that's SWATTING, is against the law.
Well, that should be.
You don't have anybody.
That's already law to call in a false alarm.
It is okay. But see, right now, the false alarm is getting escalated now, to the level that they're saying that there's somebody in there that's kidnapped, or they got some dope in the house, or whatever. And they come right out, okay? And it's gotten worse, okay, Scott, it's the problem here. It's almost people can direct you where to go. And so now people are being prosecuted. But they're going to make it a federal law, okay? Because most of the laws, state ordinance, state, local, police department, it's going to be a federal law now that you're going to do some serious time, okay? But they're going to trace you down because they got your cell phone number, so it doesn't make sense, okay? So anyway, these are some of the things that's taking place in Congress there. And like I said, and right now we have peace and all in the Congress now. That resolution has been passed, and our government is going to continue operating. And also right now, as the Republicans are preparing what they're doing here, the President Joe campaign to focus on the abortion rights, the 51st anniversary of the Supreme Court Roe versus Wade ruling. Meanwhile, our country has seen a very much economic growth. It's probably going to say a significant rate over the last, well past what we did in 2023. And also, this is taking place, okay, we are so happy to see that gas prices are coming down. People right now feel better about spending their money and stuff, as you know. One of the things that's taking place that I don't know if you're aware of it, that a lot of these electric cars, those charging stations, when this cold weather came out, guess what? They found out it's not good to have an electric car. Because those batteries are not charging like they should. In charging stations, have very few of those, and you see lines all to those when you stand in line and the battery going dead. So this is something new for us to deal with, but we're an ever-changing country. And while we're on abortion, here in Missouri, our state, now I got to talk about our own state, everything politics must start local. Here in the state of Missouri, on abortion is a hot issue around the country. A coalition of abortion rights supporters launched a campaign Thursday to erase Missouri's total abortion ban. The group includes ACLU of Missouri, the Abortion Action of Missouri, and both of the state's Planned Parenthood chapters. Now they are again in a petition started, and that will create a right for an abortion in Missouri's Constitution. See, all states have the Constitution, and right now in our Missouri Senate, right now they are already locked up in debates about what what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do, and the reason that is this year is election year. And you have people in the same as Missouri politics changed the law years ago. When they made that change, they said that you are term limit after 8 years in the House or in the Senate. Well, in that takes place, those people got to go someplace else for another job. So now they run for higher office. And so now you have all these senators, Republican senators right now who control the Senate and the House who run for higher office. Well, guess what? You get attention, okay, when you create chaos. And so in Missouri, we have a thing now called the another Freedom Caucus on the Missouri level that's creating chaos. And that's going on, okay. And so in doing the deadlock, in fact, it's so bad that Missouri is a sports state. The same as Cardinals, the same as Blues, the same as Kansas City Chiefs and Kansas City Royals, both our soccer team. All of them, okay, have gotten together because they've been trying to pass a bet that's all around Missouri. The legal bet is legal. Like Missouri is not. Illinois, Kansas, all those states are making money off of Missouri people. But our state Senate, okay, for the last couple of years have refused to get a bill done. And the government's in favor of it, okay, so this year, those teams are coming together right now, and they're going to do a petition drive, just like the people doing the abortion, to get the Constitution changed. And to do that, they get enough signatures and put it on the ballot, people will vote for what they want. Because, again, our state House and state Senate right now are deadlocked on their own personal issues. Because they're trying to get that notoriety to make sure they can get reelected to a higher office. And that is not the way the system has been designed. And also something that's taking place that we all should be aware of. Boeing is in the news again after a Boeing 747. This is the big thing this time. Had slang shooting across the sky over Miami this past week. They took off, and they got too high, and the flames from the fuselage there, and thank God they could land. It was a cargo plane. There was only 5 people aboard, but everybody got off safely. Now, also, this goes along with what took place with the Boeing 737 MAX 9S. That's the Boeing 737 MAX 9S, which had had a compartment door come off there while they was at right with climate, and that could have been a catastrophe. One thing I will say this week, I had a chance to hear Secretary of Transportation, Mr. Rebroadcast, speak that air travel is the safest in the whole world in our country than any place else. The safest way of transportation, and I have to agree with him on that. And so that safety is very important. And one of the things that people are not aware, years ago, some really 737 Boeing was big up in the state of Washington. And they had a fight with the union up there. And the union, and they decided that they got to pay the benefits. They decided to have the work on all their planes formed out to different places to put them together. But right now, they have a problem with this, what's come called spirits right now, that's making these compartments here, and they having problems with them. And there's no inspection. When they come into our country, they're not being inspected. So right now, inspections taking place. It's gotten so bad that one of the major corporate construction companies in our area, Clayco, is a giant. He just prohibited all his employees from flying on Boeing 737 9X MAX 9S's. They have over 1,500 employees, and the CEO, Bob Clark, I know his father very well, has told this that after the January 5th incident, where a piece of the plane came loose, more than his employees, they were afraid to fly. And I can't say I blame them, okay? But so right now, about 100 of those planes have been grounded, and so they may got to have an inspection, and they found some things that had been tightened down. And this is not too good. And also this week, something very big came down. The Justice Department finally gave us a report on the Uvalde, Texas elementary school shooting that took place a couple of years ago. And in this, something they told us we already know. We already know that the police, everybody right now, there were 370-some people going for the personnel from 24 local, county, and state, and federal agencies, all how to train, how to deal with shooters. But they all were a bunch of cowards. And they were trying to say the way for somebody to come with the key. Guess what? The door was open. Nobody checked the door. It was all common sense. And when it took place, the 77 whole minutes, over 19 kids lost their lives, and including 2 staff members. And after this took place, okay, about bragging about it, back did the right thing. Well, after you investigate, kind of find out, okay, that's not quite true. We pray for all those families, and we hope right now that those people can go to jail or be prosecuted because they have been trained professionally how to deal with something like that. We are paid for their training. That's why we should get our money's worth. We should request, demand that we get a full investigation of this. And also here in Coastal Home again in Jeff City, Missouri, Lincoln University, which is one of the oldest HBCUs in the country. After all the students returned from the Christmas break, he came back in black. He said, why is that? Well, one of their beloved administrators at the school who had alleged bullying and racism by the school white president. Her name is Antoinette Bonnie Kenny Bailey, is known for her open door policy and greeted everyone as Lincoln University with a smile. Lincoln University president, check this out right now. John Mosley, his name right here, Mosley, agreed to a paid leave of absence pending a third-party investigation. Many of the schools, 1,800 students and alumni called for his termination. So again, HBCUs around the country, are still under attack. And as right now, a lot of schools have up under attack now because of the March for Liberty, and a lot of schools here in St. Louis County, they're trying to change the education, teaching of black courses about history, of black history. They're changing the books right now. Here in St. Missouri, they were trying to throw out the dictionary in our encyclopedias. So this has got to stop at some point. Our history is our history. When you like it or not, it's still our history. And so right now, we continue to pray that everyone in the St. Louis City and our murder rates in the capital city have come down. But carjacking and some of our police departments right now, we just had a change. We got a new police chief, and right now, for some reason, he's afraid to come to the public. And one of the things that they did their research, when he came to St. Louis Police Department, where he came from, he had been put this way, he was let go in a nice way. And when we had him here, we paid about $100,000 more because he didn't know how to deal with the public. And that right now, transparency. There's no police department anywhere in the country right now, but if you don't have the transparency, we got issues with all this technology, all this stuff. There's no excuse right now for us to not be able to tell you what's going on. They all got cameras that we all pay for. Okay. Keep in mind, this is your money that you're paying for these people to do what they should be doing, and it's not right. Anyway, this is a lunch at the Missouri Chamber of Commerce on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. My name is Ira, folks. That's Scott here. That's Reverend Elder Loud, Turkey Bowl. And yes, we joined us on this video Kovacs. And we will continue our discussion we started last week about some of the things, hot button issues that need to be talked about. And we want to kind of flush them all out. So again, this is a lunch in Missouri Chamber of Commerce on a beautiful Saturday, January the 2024. My name is Ira, folks. That's Scott. Welcome back to lunch at the Missouri Chamber of Commerce on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I'm happy to say that we have Mr. Bill Kovacs, and hopefully we join by Mr. Chuck DeMoore III. But right now, we had already started our conversation, and Bill was kind of commenting on some of my comments about, how politicians, one thing, Bill, that me and said before you had on the call, that the House and the Senate finally passed a resolution not shutting the government down, and the bill was signed, and you don't like to kick the can down the road a little bit further than they had before. Okay, and so now that's the subject that we're talking about right now, about our politicians. Bill, they all take the same oath to fight for our country. And, here comes Chuck, getting good business. Okay, here comes Chuck. Chucky Bowl. Good luck, Chuck.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good luck, Chuck. Okay, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Chuck and Bill.
Hey, how are you? Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, good afternoon, everybody. Well, right now, I've got the whole team back together. And Chuck, right when you came on, Bill and I had started a little bit here talking about our politicians, okay? When this Irish is this, it is, okay? And I was start off with they all take an oath when they go up there, they sworn in, and that's to do the business of the country. But once they get there, we all know that changes right away. So, Bill, can you take us from there? Go ahead.
Sure. I mean, look, one of my theories, that I write about a lot, is politicians are elected, and when they take the oath, they become fiduciaries to the citizens and to the Constitution, not to the party. And if they worried more about being fiduciaries to the country and to the Congress and trustees of the Constitution, they would run the place with common sense. They wouldn't sit there and get a $34 trillion deficit. They wouldn't shut the government down all the time. If you're broke, they would do it. But the key in my mind is if you run it as a fiduciary, you run it for the country, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you run it for the best interest of the country. If you're running it as a politician, you're running it as in the best interest of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. And that changes the Constitution fundamentally. Right now we're supposed to have separation of powers where every branch, Congress blocks the president's power, the president blocks Congress, and that's to keep government constrained. Once you become politicians, you're no longer fighting, you're no longer trying to keep things constrained as three branches of government. The only powers that you're keeping constrained are as a Republican or as a Democrat. And that's why we have so much fighting, because all three branches have decided that they're politicians, not fiduciaries. And once all you have are Republicans and Democrats.
Now, one thing left out, okay, was the judiciary, okay? Now, I'm at the Supreme Court right now, that third realm that we're talking about, you said three branches of government.
Look, the reason we have so many laws in this country and why the federal government is so big, let's be honest, it's the Supreme Court. Literally from the day that the Supreme Court met and started hearing cases, they expanded federal power just like Congress and the president. I mean, it's that simple. There's nobody trying to restrain the power of government. And the point is, and let's just take something you and I have talked about a million times. Let's just take low-income housing. When you have 40 to 50% of the cost of a low-income house being government regulation, you're going to get a lot fewer houses. A one-bedroom low-income unit in San Francisco is $850,000. A one unit in Fairfax County, Virginia, where I live, is roughly $450,000. The average cost of a house across the United States is about $350,000-$400,000. So if you've got a house that's going in San Francisco, a one-unit apartment at $850,000, how many people do you think can afford that? I mean, no matter how poor you are, it makes no sense what they're doing, and how do you have all these regulations? I mean, look, you've built houses, Ira. Go back and see what the regulations are. You have to fence around it. You have to protect animals. I mean, the list just goes on and on.
Okay, well, let's get Chuck in here. Chuck, you be quiet. Come on.
I'm totally in agreement, and there's I think it's appropriate to establish, and I'm thinking just in a real general sense of a reasonable man's perspective. Some common line or place that we have to just say this is the standard, meaning like it's
it's veered. I mean, it's almost like a pendulum. It's swung way right for a while, and it's very conservative. And there were things being done, and language being used, and actual legislation and actions by people that were once revered as to set an example. And then it's swung all the way to the left, and then all these other agendas and other things came in. So we were kind of referencing common sense as a center of gravity, and the definition of common sense is even debatable to some degree. So the point Bill's making here about the fiduciary responsibility is too much like right, in the sense that whose interests are being represented and for what. See, there's another dimension to the conversation, the consideration. Like, does government even serve the people anymore?
Amen on that one.
Yeah, who's being served, and at what cost or agenda, or what's going on? It's like, there were a number of places that were talking about they didn't even need to have an election. They're just going to put Biden through. And then there are other places saying Trump has no business being on the ballot. These are things that are going on that are, constitutional pillars that beyond common sense, but certainly a responsibility to what's going on. So I wholeheartedly agree with all the opinions that are being expressed now.
And also, let me jump in. Okay, one of the things, up until recently, on the left and the right, especially when we say left Republican, right Democrat, up until recently, in the last couple of decades, normally you would have a process before the Democrat and the Republican would elect a candidate. You would go through different primaries, where they would have people who would challenge them, they would have debates, and they would, debate each other and find out what's going to happen, Well, right now, but in doing that, each person that's running would have something they can put on the table, and they me because I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do this for you. This is my goal. This is my intention, to do this as the president, and how I'm going to bring benefits to your city, to your town, you individually, as far as the housing one we will talk about. But also the thing about, child care. There's also the thing about education. That's the thing about our transportation. All those things have to come into play. And even agriculture, that's something that has to be put out there also. But right now, there's on the Republican side, there's no issues being discussed about if we get in office, what are we going to do for me? And that was a song that came out many, many years ago. Chuck, if you remember talking about this, was by Janet Jackson. Remember, Chuck? What have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? And so right now, you have to ask yourself, each party that you're looking at, what have you done for me lately? Why should I want to keep you, or why should I want to put you in there to benefit me? What are the benefits of me keeping you as if you're Joe Biden, or putting you in if you're Donald Trump? What are you going to do for me? And I think all politics, to me, are always local. And I just talked about, when we came on the air, about what's going on here in Missouri. Our House Senate here right now is already locked up. Because we got a freedom caucus right now. They said, we're going to create chaos. We don't want nothing passed. Huh? and that's kind of the way we get a government. So right now, that's how we are here. And I think both you gentlemen, are very highly esteemed and have worked with people across the country and around the world and have some idea how guilty we are. So, Chuck, if you could tell me, if you had your choice, how would you see things go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been feeling, and I'm not really speaking from how me personally felt, I've just felt that we've been put in a evolutionary disposition, and I'm really talking about my encounters with, let's just say, in Washington, we just refer to it as Capitol Hill. Anything and everything to do with the public side, kind of, the gravity, everything just kind of trickles or settles back into the Hill. And whether it was legislative swings, and there were earmarks, or not earmarks, but different markers in time that different things were happening, started to measure what was going on, kind of relate them to a administration. So if you went all the way back to Lyndon B. Johnson in the 1964 Civil Rights Act, there was a disposition and an attitude and a perspective of why did that happen, and of all the people that weren't necessarily branded as all-inclusive would do something like that. And then that kind of evolved, and there was economic receipts or achievement from that legislation of what impacted and how it went. And as it just went on, that kind of peaked, and then we worked our way all the way up to, let's say, the Clinton administration and the beginning of bundling of contracts, and kind of starting to say that, well, they're not really laws, they're guidelines, and we're going to try our best to meet the guidelines, but if we can't find this or we can't do that, there are many other things that have happened that represent that. But as you start looking at, it's okay to not look that hard, in a sense, or we set these goals, but if we fall short, I mean, and add to that education and religion and infrastructure. I mean, would you ever have imagined, or what time, and depending on your age, that a bridge could actually fall down and collapse while cars are going across it, and it's a major thoroughfare? We've got infrastructure issues all over, and so we got to do it. But now these other encumbrances and other things are put to it that we got to do it, but we're gonna do it with a certain group of people or a certain way. You got to be in the system, and they've made it so difficult to be inclusive. And even with something like the whole DEI thing, and because I almost wanted to say minority back, in the 60s, if you were talking about minorities, it was black. It wasn't two ways about it. And then we started saying, okay, Hispanics, they're minorities too, but it's gotten all to the point where it became about everything but that. I mean, in terms of who is these people are disparaged, or even
it's a catch-all.
It's one thing to say that somebody lives in a certain zip code or something, that's a hub zone, so they get minority considerations. And I'm not getting to the LBGT or white women being designated minorities, or the disparity that was going on, and keep coming up all the way to this point right now. On one hand, you've got all these people now, all these companies are saying they can't find people for jobs, and on the other hand, there are all these jobs, and then at the same time, it's like they kind of wiped out the perceived value of education. You don't need it. You can get away without it. But yet, as competitive as it can be to get into selected schools and get in these programs. So they've kind of made it really easy that if you're not well rooted, so it used to be everyone, all you got to do is kind of get up in the morning and go get on that school bus, and you would, and the yielding product, the product that was being yielded from just being part of the system, was something that was a credit and value to society. Then we got to the point now where, if kids don't show up for school, they're not really concerned about it. And even, the whole thing, we're having cultural, social, academic, just physical environment, infrastructure challenges. The integrity of the human being. So the question was, what would I do? And the point of it, I'm kind of over here with what we've been saying all along, to hold these people who we vote for accountable, and then really just get ignorant, not ignorant, but just blatant. Starts about draining the swamp. You know, that's in the Donald Trump vernacular.
Well, Chuck, one thing that you hit on there was infrastructure, okay, that we all, for about the last 20, 30, well, this last 20, 25 years, okay, there's been talk about on the hill, down there on the hill, okay, about we need infrastructure. We have bridge falling, okay, but there was no money put in place for that. Anybody campaigned on that? Well, Mr. Biden came in, and what you want to say is he passed that bill right now. In all states right now, anywhere you travel, you see construction going on. You're seeing right now, people fixing the bridges, the major, the state highways. Right here in Missouri, we on Highway 70, okay, which was one of the first. That was the first. State highway started right here in Missouri, okay, with Highway 70 that goes from coast to coast. You know what I'm saying? And so now our state highway right now is finally being fixed, and also in the small places up in Virginia. And all the congressmen right now are saying we did, and they all take advantage of taking no credit for it. But the idea is, I don't care who did it. We finally got some construction. We got construction. We have these bridges and stuff, and keeping them from falling down. And that's the justice thing. So Bill, come on, Ricky. I mean, you the president. What would you do?
It's a real issue, and maybe part of our.
Let me see that new bill here. Let me see. Okay, Bill.
Well, I'm just sitting here listening to you, and there's too much on the table for me to respond to. But right in front of me right now, I have a white sheet of paper. It's got nothing on it.
Okay.
So think about that.
I love that white sheet. I love that white sheet of paper.
There's nothing on it. And all of you and Chuck have hit, and Rev have hit 2 points. What does government do for us? And I'd like to reverse it. What does it need? What needs to be done? So
okay, I'm
gonna put on this table what government does for us to see if we can ever get to that point, and ask a more fundamental question: what needs to be done? Let me put on number one. Number one is it needs to protect us, both foreign and domestic, from harm. That's from a war or criminals or whatever. Just protect us from harm. After protect us from harm, what would be? And that's half of our discretionary budget. So what would be the next thing? Because we're asking what needs to be done, because you have to know what, in my mind, you have to know what really needs to be done before you can ask what do they do for us. I mean, I'm in a position where if they just really protected the United States and we really had, I'm going to say just safety with it on the streets, education, our kids going to school, safe. Basic stuff.
Well, right now Uvalde is one, okay, where you have almost 400 some professional trained police officers, not on a local level, the state level, the federal level. And they all been trained, okay. You run to the problem, and there was a door that nobody thought of trying the door. That was again common sense.
Yep.
Ain't no common sense. Turn your door knob.
Cost nothing to figure out if the door was open. But
I'll knock the door down. But if they don't come to my house, if they don't come to my house and do something, they gonna knock my damn door down. Or your door check down also. Okay, so why don't know? So again, these people were trained professionals, and we depended on them, and they let everybody down. No protection.
Yeah, well, I'd like you to get to number two on the list. One is
go to number two. Number two
needs to protect us, because before we can get to what should they be doing for us, they have some basic functions. I mean, I'll go through a few of them. We need a strong dollar. We need a strong banking system. We need to have jobs. If the country was defended people had a good economy and their jobs were available.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. Schools were teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, or whatever they teach now, STEM or calculus or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What else does government really need to do at that point in time? Because at that point, if there are jobs available,
Mm-hmm.
people can work. The question here that we've got is, I mean, I don't know what, and I say this honestly, I don't know what jobs are available. My hunch is that there are not as many available jobs as you think there are. Most of the jobs that are available right now are pretty low-paying jobs that really probably very few people want, and there are enough government benefits to say, well, the government benefits are just as good as the job. Why should I go to work? And they're probably right.
Let me say with that one a bit, okay. When it comes to jobs, one of the things that struck me, we all know I'm working on here down in Haiti, we're in the broadband communication. There's definitely a shortage of people right there, and people need to be trained, which we plan to do, on how to go out there. I mean, this is kind of simple. How to dig a ditch, okay? How to, it's common sense, a common sense job. But at the end of the day, it's what actually runs the country. It runs all the technology. I mean, nothing can take place, okay? Unless but it's, again, right now, people, you have
do parents teach common sense anymore? I mean, seriously. I don't know.
Well, Chuck, you're going to have to teach you. Want to help me out here, Chuck?
That's the whole erosion of cultural and just the whole infrastructure collapse. And there was a thing started happening when, and I'll speak from the black family perspective, when the man was taken out of the house, or
forced out,
or it's okay to substitute the same-sex situation in there for, whether it's two men or whatever the case may be. We lost those basic, let's go back to that common sense, or the reasonable man, or religion, or whatever it is. It's from your grandparents, or from a time phase, let's say the 60s through the 70s, 80s, and now here we are now, where, and that's what I was getting to about at one time, people would determine how their decorum, their behavior would be based on the president wouldn't do that, or that. These people are cursing and doing. I mean, it's like immoral things and all this stuff that's going on now. And we're seeing it, and it's out here. Like, it's no big deal for a preacher to be found that he's been up here chastising women for the length of their skirt or something, and then he's having all kinds of activities going on, off outside the church. So there's a time now that it isn't being taught in the home, but it used to just be part of who we are. It's almost like a young child, something as simple as eating with your fingers.
But I guess what you do is accountability.
Yes, accountability and some standards. Have you noticed? I'll give you another story. My son had one of his friends had a surprise birthday party for the girlfriend, and it was at an upscale restaurant. And we were up here. He's a little bit older, so we don't really get to him how to dress. But we're like saying, well, you really should at least be wearing a sport coat or something in there. And then, they're like, this is a $2,500 dinner for a group of people type of thing. A swanky place. And so I was asking him about it. He said, well, some people wore hoodies and tennis shoes, and other people, and I said, well, what was the host wearing? Well, the host was wearing a suit. And so these are things that you've got to understand, that you don't have to use peer pressure to be your litmus paper or your measuring stick, as much as what statement are you making about yourself?
That's the difference. And if you really want to, we want to talk to the average Joe out here. You want to impress a woman, no matter how much, in the street we talk about thug love, and they really like these people from a certain type of personality and mentality. But boy, if you send a girl flowers, or you open the door for them, or you do some of these little basic things that somebody else is like, oh man, you're soft, or you're this or that. When they go away,
you, Bill, and I, and Reb, we stood up for our wife.
That's the way we were raised, because it's almost like your vocabulary. What words do you know to use, and instead of necessarily just cussing somebody out and saying limiting it to your top 500 words, you're saying, well, we got a whole Webster's dictionary here. When I was in high school, we had one book that was just for vocabulary. They were just teaching us words, and I mean words I've never heard of. But because of that, when I hear one of these words that I wouldn't maybe normally use, I'm not intimidated. I'm not scared, or I kind of have an idea what they're talking about enough that if I look it up, and it may become part of it, but it's communication. It shows how.
But Chuck, they don't even teach that in college anymore, yet alone in grade school or high school. I mean, part of the problem is our entire teaching system has gone off the rails. I mean, and when I went to school, we didn't have any great courses. You learned history, math, science. You just took the same courses everybody else took. At the end of the year, you took a college exam or whatever it was at the end of 4 years. And that was you never really thought about, gee, I want an LGBTQ course or something like that. I mean, first of all, it wasn't even something thought about. But so
we didn't know what it was.
Well, but that gets to the bigger question. I mean, Ira, you and I are about the same age. Chuck's a little bit, maybe a lot more younger. So the question is, as all of us old guys leave or exit the stage, what's going to be the culture? If you think it's bad now, what's going to be the culture 20 years from now?
Wow.
In this country, what's it going to be like?
Bill, I think he kind of hit the nail on the head, because I think that's the whole thing. We all were taught, I think all of them, except Reb, I know Scott, and all of us were all taught, how when our kids came along, that they would do better. They would do better than we would do. I mean, which meant, okay, whatever I made, my kids will make more money in the next generation, okay, and their kids, and so on and so on. I think the Bible tells us that, okay, pass wealth on to the next generation. But I think now, and I guess this is the thing we want to talk about. Social media, okay, has changed our whole world. Okay, right now, you see little kids, 2 or 3 years, less than 2 years old. They all want to have a tablet of some sort. I mean, and that's what's educating them. And the bad part about it, the parents don't know how to talk on things. You know what I mean? So they can hardly police. Okay, when we were coming out, we had TV. Okay, but guess what? We only had 4 stations, 4 or 5 stations at that time. But when we did, okay, we knew the news that we got was actual factual news. But nowadays, everybody got a good opinion. Okay, their opinions are out there, and nobody's verifying their opinions. And the old days, we know that Walter Cronkite or somebody else would say, "Hey, this is the news." Okay, hey, that was the law, and we believe that. But nowadays, okay, I remember John Malone, who started TCI. Well, no, not he started TCI. He came along, okay, to the next level. He had said years ago they were going with 500 channels. I remember he said that, okay. And I said, wow, that man must be crazy. But guess what? We got more than that nowadays. And guess what? Y'all got some out with opinion.
Yeah.
And everybody saying, believe me when I'm telling you, this is honest God truth.
Sierra.
Yes, sir.
The main thing to do is that each individual will have to continue to encourage the youngsters what's right from wrong, and how to respect one another, how to love one another. That's the only thing that people get in. You keep putting it in them like the Bible said, train up a child the way he must go, then he won't depart from it. Well, that's what has to continue to go on. People have to be continually encouraging the youth regardless of what they're saying. All these youngsters is this and that. Change it by you cooperating and help the youngsters to know what's right from wrong and what to do, what's right and what not to do. That's the issue. And that's what should be happening right now.
Well, Reb, I think I taught my kids that, and I think they thought I was terrible for doing it. But unfortunately, when they walk outside of the house, and most people think differently. It's very hard to. They keep on questioning, "Am I nuts?" And some days I question it.
Well, Bill, this is something that you and I, okay. I know when we were school, okay, the young girls, okay, had the skirts down below, and then I recall that the bad girls, okay, would have their skirts up high. And I know that a lot of young girls, those times, when they left home, okay, they would kind of fold their skirts over, okay, put pins in them, right? And then when they go home, they put it back down. So once they left home, okay, it was good girls, okay, and they left out there, the whole wardrobe would change, okay, and the people they would hang with would change. And I think now peer pressure, like Chuck just mentioned with his son there, just a couple of weeks ago, I should say last year, my nephew, daughter just turned 2 years old, okay, and they gave her a birthday party, okay, 2 years old, right, and they spent over probably $5,000-$6,000 or more, okay, on her birthday party. Now, right, okay, now, they had a parade when she came in, and they all dressed alike, okay, they were like kids, like Chuck was talking about, they came up with their bow ties on, the little kids, okay, and the parents got into it also. I mean, so and they all rode up, and they did Jeeps and stuff. They had a parade to come in there. Now, that is at that age, okay, 20 or 30 years from now, what would she expect, okay? When she get ready to get married to somebody, what does she expect? I tell my daughters, okay, I spoil them, okay? So I know you spoil your son, and you spoil your kids also. That was my job, to give them the best that I could give them. And then the man that married one of them, okay, they got to give them the best, and respect them. And that's all what we can do, really, if we send our kids out there, as they get into the crazy world. But now I said, but it's not what we say, it's what do they see. There are the most newspapers out there. There are very few of those out there that you can actually, people don't, sometimes I go places and I carry my newspaper with me, sitting in the waiting room, put my paper out. A couple of months ago, I was in the office, okay, and I put my paper on, and the lady said, "What's that?" I said, "The newspaper."
Yeah. Hey, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Something else, Aaron, is that we have to look at ourselves. I'm looking at myself. I was wild and crazy and all that kind of stuff, but I came away from it after listening to what your parents told you and kept it in memories. And that's what all these other kids gonna have to do today. And the parents, all you do is just keep putting it in them. God will guide them to the right way to continue to go and carry this on.
Okay, now Chuck, you was a teacher, okay? One of the things, okay, that I always have believed in, and that when a kid gets to school, the teacher has a hell of a job. That she got to try to come up with a course that everybody can understand, and they pay very little money. The lowest paid people in the world right now are our teachers. They do the hardest job. All right, Chuck, would you agree?
Yeah, it's when it's in your house from the other side, when your family's a teacher, or in this case your wife's a teacher, and it got to be concerned about their safety. You got students saying things to teachers that are just it's like, why are you even coming to school? And then the next day they don't come to school. You don't say that to them, but it's like, if you don't want to learn something, and you think it's more important to be the center of attention, or to crack jokes, or to fight, or to sell drugs, or whatever it is, and then the least little thing, they may not show up. Or if something happens, and the administration is very similar, like what's going on with the police. If there's no discipline or negative reinforcement, or they take them out to class, but they're right back the next day, and even when you call the parent will tell you, well, right now I'm out on the job. Or there's another side of it too. There's another kid that may come in, and you notice that they haven't changed their clothes, or they look a certain way, or they're unhappy, or you see them crying or something. And I'm talking about high school level people, and whether you find out that it might be a 16-year-old that's taking care of 2 or 3 elementary school kids, and the parent, you never know what the situation. Parent might just be having that many jobs, or really trying, or they could be hooked on some drug or something, or just dead or disappeared or whatever. You just never know what's going on in the house out here. I have to say, I'm shocked by the number of people that don't have food, but yet have jobs, or even have, and you could say that, well, that's a personal problem or what, but when, was it on here, we were talking about how inflation has been on a certain rate, that 20 years ago or whatever, when inflation went up, so did compensation. The level of income that was there for the workforce of America. Now that inflation has really hit some numbers and gone crazy up there, but salaries and pay scales weren't elastic to that. They didn't also go up. And I just went to grocery this morning, and I was telling my wife, I said, we used to be trying to say, well, for $100 we could get this much and do that and make it X number of days.
You could fill the card up, Chuck.
Yeah, and I'm like, so it's like, so what's the budget this week, or what are we spending? And we'll go in there and we'll think of one thing, but boy, by the time you get to that cash register, you're like, wait a minute, we ain't even buy this, that, and the other. We put a few things back and said, no, we're going, and it's still way over what you thought it would be. So it's all relative. And then even, whether you blame the pandemic or, we talked about the cost of health care, and people getting sick and not having any money, or it's almost like cash and carry in the hospital. Not have insurance. And it's so all these things relating back to the classroom, that's where it starts to show. The stress on society or whatever. You're seeing it in a certain let's put it like this, less filtered. Somebody has a job and goes to work. You might see things, but they're a little bit able to pull it off, carry off, and not let you know certain issues or things going on. Unless somebody coming in with a black eye or whatever, you don't really know. And then, when you talk to these kids and you get into it, and the thing about it is they want to talk to somebody.
They do.
Yeah, this isn't, they really don't know. So where are you going to get your role model from? A rap song or an image on TV or something? And you got all these people that are behind the engineering of our cultivating of culture and leading it into a certain path or way to make it easier. They didn't make it better for the business situation. They dumbed it down.
Which I got to take on something you said early on, okay? And one of the things, okay, that we all three of us, we all was on the phone here. We were fortunate enough to have a man in our houses, okay, that we were growing up. And in that, okay, with that man came some type of discipline, okay, or respect, that we were going to give that to that man, okay, that we would not give to our mother sometimes. That he was the disciplinarian, okay, if he did something wrong, Daddy's going to take care of this when he comes home. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being taken out of the black household, and those kids still being taught how to operate with a two-parent system, that right away kind of should steer in the wrong direction. When you said so, Bill.
Yeah, but well, I mean, of course, that takes us back to what Chuck started with, then 65, with all the welfare reform and stuff that they had, where they got rid of the man in the house and made it more advantageous not to be married, to be divorced, and you get two incomes versus one. That goes to my overall thinking on everything. I'm going to make an outrageous comment right now and let everybody jump over it. I would argue that 95% of our problems in this United States right now is caused by government. And let me give you a few reasons.
Okay.
Let's just go to medical. Let's go to hospitals. Okay. Government regulates every single aspect of healthcare, every single thing. And they've now got it set up whereas if Ira and Chuck have insurance, they go to the hospital and they get a discount. I don't have insurance, and I'm the poorest guy on the block, and I go to the hospital, and I get a bill for $400,000. Then I can't pay it, and they put me in a bankruptcy. Then I can't get credit. Then I can't get a job. I mean, that's just one, and I would argue that government has caused more of the health problems, because if the health system was not as controlled by government, these doctors couldn't charge what they charge.
Thank you, sir.
And when I grew up, I hate to say it, the local doctors, they worked out of their house, they made house calls, and they probably billed $5 for your house call. Today,
if that much.
Yeah, today you can't even walk in without having $1,000 bill. So that's the first one. The second one is education. We spend $1.5 trillion between federal, state, and local on education. And what are we getting for it? We're all sitting here complaining, saying, "Oh well, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, they're not lessons. Everybody's got rights. You got LGBTQ rights or XYZ rights, whatever you got. So you got education. Let's take housing. So we talked about this before. Part of the problem with housing, all the regulations, 40 to 50% of the cost of a house. Doesn't do anything to build a house, but we need low-income housing. I could go down the whole list. I could go down 100 more items. And come to the same thing. So go back to your first question that you asked, Ira, is, what does government need to do? I asked, what do we want from government? I asked, what does it need to do? It clearly, whatever, we give it $6 trillion a year, and that's not enough. And if you take state, local, and federal, we give them $10 trillion. That's not enough. Well, what's enough money to give government to make things run right? I don't know.
And I guess one thing I have to say that, okay, and once we give it to them, okay, they are unaccountable back to us. And we don't know if they perform, if they did what they said they were going to do. Once they got elected into office, okay, let's say once they go into Congress, okay, and that's the faith that they all want to be. Okay, as a matter of fact, Bill, I'm gonna say in your book that you wrote, okay, it clearly defines that once they get there, like not just in Congress, okay, but any political office on the state level also, become an alderman. Well, I have run campaigns where I got put people in office, okay, with even committeemen. Once they get there, okay, they become buddy, okay, with the other alderman or committeeman or whoever, and their whole attitude changes.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I keep on talking about we need to devolve the domestic power, the domestic government to the states and get the federal government out of it completely. Because the federal government, no human being in the entire world, no human being is capable of managing the budgets that these people manage. You hand a group of people $6 trillion a year to do whatever the hell they want, plus they can borrow whatever else they need or want. Nobody can manage that. That's not manageable. And we're expecting these people that are human beings, and I'm saying it in a nice way, or they're politicians, which is probably not quite human, but they're sitting there and they've got at their disposal every single year $6 trillion. That's insanity.
That's a lot of money.
I mean, we think about it, $6 trillion. I mean, I don't even know how much money it is, but we're asking these people to take $6 trillion and do something with it. They don't even know how to balance.
Let's back up, okay? Explain to people who listen, okay? Every year, okay, every 2 years, I should say, they have elections in the House of Representatives where they split up 400. They have 400. With 435 seats, I guess. Yeah, 435. Okay, is the number, okay, that you have, and you divide that number and have either Democrat or Republicans, okay, which you're supposed to have a two-party system right now, what we work off, okay, and now you divide those 435 people, take away your party affiliation, okay, you're human beings. So human beings are right now looking at that kind of money saying, oh my God. Okay, then I gotta get my piece, okay, it's supposed to be divided up equally between all 435 people. Am I right, Bill?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
It's supposed to be equally divided between each one of those 435 people representing a district someplace.
No.
Okay.
It's the appropriation process doesn't work like that. They've sort of tried. Some of them try to make it work like that, where everybody gets their sort of their gravy train, but it doesn't really work like that.
Okay. So that's my point. So explain to us, okay, what we all misunderstand.
Well, it's like some states, like South Carolina, for example. Every dollar that the citizens of South Carolina send to the federal government, they get $7.35 back. Missouri, I think Missouri, I know Utah, but I think Missouri too. You guys don't even get $1 back for what you send in. So you guys send $1 and you get 75 cents back, and South Carolina gets $7 and something back. And so there's no way of knowing how this thing is divided. I mean,
I should have said, okay, the population's okay, determined, okay. Because right now, I think we maintained after the last census was done that we didn't lose any seats, okay. But this is all, every state is determined how many seats they get, okay, by the population from the census.
Right.
We left that part out.
Right.
And so right now, Missouri population is not up there with the big numbers, okay. So that's why we get the least amount of the pie.
Well, I wish it was. I mean, I'm assuming you get less part of the pie because you didn't have some really important people in Congress.
That's what I want you to. That's what I want you to say, Bill. I want you to say that. Okay, I want you to say that. It depends.
You have Jason Smith right now, who's really excellent, but I don't know what he says the right things, but I'm not sure what he does.
Well, Bill, I work in this district, okay. Matter of fact, you and I have down in Hayti, Missouri. That's the district, okay. And from what we see down there, it's one of the Pembroke County, one of the poorest counties in the country.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jason Smith, okay, is the Ways and Means chairman of that committee, which controls all the money that comes out to everybody.
Yep.
He's the chairman of the committee. And so you would think that Pembroke County, okay, would be one of the best, well-funded places in the whole country. It would be the Cadillac. Maybe be the Mercedes. No, that's really not be a Cadillac right now, sitting down there, and all they want to get off. I just had a conversation this morning, Bill, with Donnie about us, working towards some dollars okay for our training facility. We've been down there, and this is time right now for us to start, looking at that as we move forward in our project pay time, taking advantage of Mr. Smith's position that he has in Congress to get us some trainers out, which again kind of takes away that what we all talk about a good education, but now you got the training facilities, training schools that come in now that most people found out that they were not qualified or couldn't go to college. So what did they do?
Well, I don't know about where you live, but around here, if you go and you get a license as a plumber, you make more than any of these kids coming out with sociology degrees.
Electrician also.
Electrician, plumbers, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. They do very well.
Mm-hmm.
And every night on the news or they advertise. South Dakota advertises. They tell they need people, and they advertise that if you come to South Dakota, they will train you, certify you, and guarantee you a job. Why aren't people flocking to South Dakota? I mean, seriously. And the jobs start, I think they said they start at $75,000. That's right. For somebody starting a job.
And I think you're tax-free also. There's no taxes.
No state taxes, yeah.
No state taxes also.
Right. Not a bad gig.
Right. That's not a bad gig, okay? But I think it's the weather up there is. Matter of fact, right now we had some cold spell here, which is I said we should have been used to here in Missouri. I don't know how you guys was up there. We had below zero the last couple of days here, last week or so. I don't know how you guys must have been up there, but that's kind of dictates why people want to go to North Dakota. Matter of fact, I know.
Look, Ira, if it's 30 degrees above zero and it's snowing and raining, I'm not going out. If it's 8 degrees below zero, I'm not going out. So if it's 5 degrees colder, you're still not going out. If you're, it doesn't change. Then unless you're going to Florida, you're not making a difference.
Well, if you're really, if you're making that kind of money, okay, you have an incentive, okay. And I think right now people Chuck help me out on this one, okay. They had aspirations, okay, to go make money, okay, because to do better, you need to have more money in your bank account, in your hand, or your pocket, for you to do better. And I think right now, one of the things that the National Chamber of Commerce, and by the way, Chuck is the CEO of that, and he's kind of straightening the ship here as he navigates, a whole new perspective now about not only just how we create wealth in our here and now, especially in the Black community, is not as easy as it has been, and getting harder every day. And for us, to get our members, and then once we get our members, to sustain our membership. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's trouble, right? Because you have one this year, next year, and unfortunately, in some cases, Chuck helped me out here. Once they start making a lot of money, okay, they have to forget about us. I've had that to happen, you know what I'm saying? You kind of nurture to a point, Chuck. And all of a sudden they're making some money, they forget about how we put them in that position, okay, by using the chambers. Am I right, Chuck?
I think it's human nature to a certain degree. Well, for some people. Some people are different ways. I can give you an example that when a company reaches a certain point, in a way, they kind of feel like they've outgrown the peer group or the circle of people they were involved with. You have people that just kind of feel like we don't need it. We don't need their that we're doing okay. And they got it, but those same people, and I'm talking about $50 million type of contracts and different kinds of, real money, serious money. Yeah, but then you got the same people that don't pay people. Their employees may not be getting paid. Contractors may not be getting paid. It's a different mindset, but at the same time, they're not understanding best practices and the common indicators of success. Those are the things that make the difference, and we could go back and study it. But yes, to answer your question, yes. And when you said that, I just come to mind. We had one company that we took to Brazil, and we made introductions, and we did everything except went and sat in all their additional meetings and didn't get to negotiate. But before they left that trip where we would set the meetings up for them, they had an $85 million contract.
Wow.
Yeah, and we never heard from them again after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that level, but yes, and that's what I'm saying. That's what we're up against. Okay. Now again,
here's you got to tell the rest of the story. So okay, all right. Hey, we ain't mad at you, but we didn't ask you for a percentage of your deal. That's not how we operate. Your membership, you paid the same amount that Tom, Dick, and Harry paid, and it works out for you. We're happy. At least maybe tell some people or share it, and we'll use it as testimonial. But lo and behold, what happens when the creek rises and the alligators are at their feet? See, when the house is burning, they come running. And that's when we're sitting there saying, we're sitting right here waiting on you too. They want to save them. They want you to save them yesterday. Not at 9 o'clock on Monday morning after whatever happened over the weekend, and can you do it right now? But they'll call you and they'll tell people, no, we're members. We're there. We've been doing this. Now on the other side, I got to tell a good version of that. We had another company that was in litigation, and they were suing a major corporation. They're a small company, but they were both doing the same kind of work. And they won their lawsuit. We don't even know, but we wrote letters and we advocated on their behalf. You can put it like that. And I know they probably won, $10, $15, $20 million. But they came back and said, you know what? We really appreciate you guys. And once you know, we're going to take out a lifetime membership. And here's $25,000. And for us, we, you bite your tongue. You never look a gift in the mouth, a gift horse in the mouth. But shoot, a regular membership's $10,000 a year. And I mean for a company doing multi-million
doing substantial business.
Yeah, and so we were happy to have it, but you're relegated and subjected to someone else's value system. Because and the difference is the amount it costs to function, the phone bill, the staffing, the office, those are fixed costs. Those are fixed costs, and you don't get to say, well, I'm gonna pay this for that today, or I'm gonna pay, and that's the as they say, Godfather, this is the life we chose, So we don't cry about it at that point, but we come back, and what's happened is, and we're talking about something a little bit different now, but you look at it's kind of like the Godfather of nonprofits for the most part is AARP. And when they got away from dues-based membership and started focusing more on fees and services and resources, that's when they became multi-billion-dollar entity. So people will pay for what they want, and that's fair. That's fair. We just try to have what they want, but you will pay for it.
Well, I think that's the American. I guess American way, but I always said as far as people who become successful that you help. I always said you meet the same people going up, the same people coming down. I mean, so that's one of the adages that you learn, but you continue like you and I do. To keep working every day, okay? Like because we got faith, and like some rabbis talking about earlier in the program, we did this prayer that you gotta have faith, okay? That what you're doing, okay, it's gonna be beneficial to someone, but you gotta have faith, okay, and then your success in yourself, okay, if you're gonna be able to help somebody. Like that's what you and I, Bill, have done in our lives, that we help other people become successful. And with Bill, when he's at that U.S. Chamber of Commerce, his job was to make sure, advocate for his members they're doing. Am I right, Bill?
Well, I was gonna say, I know Chuck. Are you still you're set up as a foundation still, or
C3?
C3. I mean, I guess I've just having spent more years with the business community than I probably liked. The reason we lobbied was simply because, I hate to say it, that's where the money was. That's where you could do the favors that people needed. You weren't supposed to lobby for any one client, just the business community in general, but you really did lobby for one. And
we sort of separated. We had a foundation, did all the nice things, and did the training, and those things. But it was really the lobbying, and that's something where you can really extract your pound of flesh a little bit more than you can when you're a straight C3. Being a C6, and that's just probably a crude way of saying it. But at the end of the day, look, you got to be honest with yourself. When you deal with the business community, they're not exactly. Everybody can take it the wrong way, but they're not exactly the most ethical group in the world, and so they operate for what's best for them, and they should, just like most people operate for themselves. Most times that there's some kind of an honor between them, where if you're in an organization, you're trying to support it financially, good and bad, and eventually those members will work out. But when it comes to lobbying, where you can actually, I hate to say this, deliver for them, they look at things a little bit differently, because they know they can't come in and out. They know they have to stay with you because they've always got something they want.
Yes. Well, I think that's the same thing that I have found. We started this conversation, okay, about our elected officials in Congress, okay. Do they have common sense? Well, they may act crazy, okay, once they get there, but once election time comes around, they'll have a rude awakening, okay, about how much they need us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the difficulty that and I guess, look, I've worked with the National Black Chamber with 20 years or so with Harry. So I have a pretty good idea of both, how ours work and how yours work. And the one thing that I always thought Harry was just too nice, too forgiving, okay, let's try to get along with the world. And I think people took advantage of him, and they're there. They're nobody's joining the National Black Chamber because they want to help the National Black Chamber or even the black community. They're there because they see you as a business that can help them. I mean, I hate to say it,
right?
But that's what it is. It's reality. It is. It's business. And it's just straight more so than any other time right now. They're the same people that are sitting here at these corporations, being the funnel or the vessel that money passes through. It's not their money personally, but they're in charge. They want to see receipts. You got to give them something tangible. They can go back and say, "Oh, look what we got." It's almost like just buy something at the store and want to come home and let your wife went shopping and they want to lay it out. Look at what I spent the money on. And that's kind of like that, how it is. And so it's okay. It's business, but you have to make that transition. You got to make that understand. You got to.
It's all transactional.
Yeah. Exactly.
Terrible thing to say. It's all transactional.
But it is the fact. Well, gentlemen, as we kind of come to the top of the hour here, I'm gonna give each one. You got 2 minutes here. Can kind of sum it up, okay? And your estimation, what you take away from our conversation we had the last couple of weeks here. And we're going to go with the young man first. Chuck, you go ahead first.
Well, I'll just keep it simple. We've got, with the National Alliance of Black Business, which is the World Conference of Mayors and the National Business League, we're having a Friday, this coming Friday morning at the Hilton Doubletree in Orlando. We're having the State of Black Business breakfast. And we'll have a press release, press conference of sorts. And we're talking with 2,500 mayors from not really rural, but the smaller towns, black mayors. And we're hearing and airing out policy issues and concerns, in addition to things like procurement challenges and the needs that they have. That's what we're doing for this week. And there's a lot more to come. We're looking forward to it. So thank you for even asking.
Well, I'm going to compliment you on the state of having something in the State of Black Business. One of, honestly, Chuck, my recommendation is you should be delivering the State of I mean, maybe you are, but you should be delivering the state of black business to the mayors and to the county commissioners and whoever else is there, the alliance, simply because when we started the State of American Business, everybody thought we were crazy and we were too egotistical. We were the state of something. I mean, right now everybody has the state of something, but the state of black business really gives you, by you laying that out, it lets you put your agenda out there. It lets you become a political figure. It says to people, we want you to come with us because we're making the policy. So I just throw that out because we were talking about how do trade associations work and chambers of commerce work. It's transactional, but be the leader in the transaction, I guess, is the easiest way to draw members.
Folks, we have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. We're really right now for the Missouri Chamber of Commerce, taking away from what Chuck just said here in the state of black business, okay? With our membership, okay, and first of you, okay, we got to kind of see who we have, who we don't have. But having said that, our plans are moving forward. That to support the national commerce, and what we do and how we do what we do. And like one of those things is, okay, we thank Chuck every week, okay, and Bill, you come on also that the national commerce, okay, is acting as a bill here to get the word out about what's going on, and we plan to do more things in the future. And I just thank God for Chuck and for yourself, for the guidance you'll give with me, okay, and the faith you'll give me also, because I know I made you too heavy, okay, years ago. And I think if he had in me to come to Missouri, and he said back then that it wouldn't be easy because Missouri is one of those strange animals, and God knows we have strange animals in Missouri. But through it all, okay, we have like some of you said, Bill, we get a smaller piece of the pie. And once we get that small piece of the pie, our representatives in Jeff City, right now, they're not doing anything constructive. Right now, our sports teams, we are embedded in all cities all around of us, and the Cardinals, the Blues, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Kansas City Royals, and our soccer teams who are professional teams who are embedded. They can't get a bill passed, through the Senate the last 3 or 4 years. Okay, so they got to go to a petition to get something done now that our legislators won't get done. So that means you come to some black business, but trying to get something done. If these bigger deals can't get something done, well, we in trouble.
Well, if you ever want to get rid of the Chiefs, let us know. They're a great team.
Now, speaking of which, tomorrow night, or tomorrow evening, sometime they will be playing Buffalo. It should be a hell of a game. We're going to say go Chiefs. It's going to be cold outside. Needless to say, okay. And also, I should have said something today. We got some games going today. I think we got, Tampa Bay, and going against who? Get me out here.
Say that again.
Okay, in NFC, they have a game there. Green Bay is playing San Francisco.
I just turned it on right now. The Ravens are getting ready to get with I think it's